Yeah, think about the Russell. It's not as much a growth index. The small cap index. It's really led by a lot of small banks, a lot of financial stocks, and some small economically sensitive stocks. So that are more domestically focused. So if we have a sense that the narrative is moving towards, hey, the Fed's not going to tighten as much as we thought, or isn't going to tighten, or it has to ease, or whatever it will be, you're going to see the wind at the back of the economically sensitive stocks. That favors the Russell. More domestically focused companies. And if rates are moving up towards 2.5, as we've seen with this latest rate hike or rate move, financials do very well. So their concentration in banks will favor the Russell. So I think both of those things help the Russell index. I do think the small caps will come back here, as I've said often on Twitter. I think the final melt up will be a broad rally. It won't be narrow. I think it will be both growth and value. And part of that is because I think like I said, the rates could take a pause or back off a little bit. And the narrative could change some, so it's more friendly towards growth stocks. But basically, I think the so-called Cathie Wood's ARK fund, those stocks, the innovation stocks, et cetera, that have been hit so hard, they're really sold out. So they could bounce 50% and not go to new highs, but they could have a 50% rally in the melt up, which would outperform almost all other things and still be, just basically a counter trend bounce. But in terms of the FANGs, I think the FANGs will go to new highs. They've been correcting here, particularly, the Amazons of the world, the Netflixes of the world, the Facebooks, and the Googles. Those have corrected quite a bit here in the last month. I think I think basically you've seen pretty good bases built through the last year for another run up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Amazon, up in the 4,000 somewhere. So, it'd be a pretty good run. I think you're going to see broad participation, industrials and certainly commodities, basic materials doing very well, but also small cap stocks, the Russell. If you look at my targets, that basically says Russell's going to outperform the other indexes, the bigger cap indexes. So I think it's going to be a pretty amazing rally in terms of not something that everybody's going to be picking apart and saying, oh, it's just being led by a handful of stocks. I think it's going to be very broad.